Would you look at that? BMW sent your boy Tall Guy that brand new 2025 BMW M2, and this joint is legendary. And I'm gonna tell y'all what it's like living with it. The good, the bad, and of course, everything in between. So let's get to it. Now, right off the rip, we gotta talk about the number one thing that stood out to me since they delivered this car, and it is the handling, the performance, and the fact that this joint is really like a little rocket ship on 4 wheels. This joint is crazy when it comes to the handling. Probably one of the best handling cars I've experienced in 2025. It's up there with like a McLaren. It's up there. Like, I don't even know what to put it up to because I don't want to go too far and stretch it out and say it's like a supercar handling, but it damn near is. I'm not gonna lie to you. The handling in this joint is absurd. It's crazy, and I mean that in all of the best ways. And I don't think the horsepower and torque do this little car justice because it's got a 3-liter inline 6 that's producing 473 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque, and it got a 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. But it feels way faster than that because it does have a little lag on the turbos. You know what I'm saying? You can hear them joints spool up and all that stuff, but yeah, it's very minimal though. And then once it goes, it's out of there. It's like lightning in a bottle. This joint goes insane. And then not only that, but when you mess with your memory driver profile settings, which I like a lot on the steering wheel, because a lot of cars have memory seats. How many have memory driver profile settings? That is game changing. I always love that in all the BMW products in 2025 that I reviewed so far. This joint is just crazy. Not only is this car rear wheel drive, it's gonna give you that smoke and that burnout, but you got these seats bolstering you up like a grown-ass man in a car seat. Carbon fiber bucket seats with leather and Alcantara wrapped all around that thing, along with the BMW colors with the blue and red inserts with the extra blue purple type with the BMW. Listen up, man. This joint is crazy. And the only thing that can make these joints look better is that Barrett's Automotive pristine leather conditioner for such a pristine whip. So you want to make sure you click that link below in the description and get yours right now. And this steering wheel, oh, don't even get me started on this steering wheel. Me and my dog Farid both agreed upon this. Shout out to my dog Farid. Follow my Instagram, follow his YouTube. Everything will be linked below in the description. Make sure you check him out because it wouldn't be possible for what we're doing with these visuals and cinematics and everything y'all seeing with the B-roll and overlay without my dog Farid. So y'all gotta know that. So please go support my dog Farid and make sure y'all follow my Instagram and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But we both mutually agreed that this is by far the best Alcantara wrapped steering wheel. It's not because it's Alcantara on the steering wheel. I've experienced many performance whips, reviewed many performance whips with Alcantara steering wheels, but what makes this one different and built all the way top of the tier, top of the mook, it's the fact that it's Alcantara, but it feels like it's so plush and comfortable. And not only is the steering ultra responsive in this car, because like I said, the handling is one of the highlights for me, if not the best one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This steering also gives you that reassurance and feedback every single time you want. There's not a movement that you can make with this steering wheel that doesn't align with the suspension and the chassis of this whip. It's like they are one with each other. And then the steering wheel, my dog Farid quoted it as being like a cloud because it's so plush. I've never been in a performance car that has an Alcantara steering wheel that handles this good and makes you feel like you're driving a Rolls Royce as far as the comfort on the mittens. It's crazy. And I'm talking about just the comfort on the mittens because obviously the suspension and everything else isn't gonna be like a Rolls Royce, but just, it damn near makes you feel like it's got split personalities. And it was like 2 different people came up. One person came up with the chassis and the suspension and the handling, and the other person came up with the steering wheel all together and wanted to make it luxurious. It was like, it was damn near bipolar when they created it. But it's like in the best ways because I love it. And it makes you want to drive with 2 hands, even though I'm a 1-hand driver. It makes you want to drive with the 2 hands, 10 and 2 type, and follow the rules of what you was taught in driver's ed because the steering wheel is so plush. And not only that, but it also has carbon fiber inserts, an M on the bottom of the steering wheel, flat bottom, and carbon fiber paddle shifters, and the M driver profile settings. Listen up, man, we are just getting started with this whip because this joint is top tier in so many ways. Now the M2, I'm gonna go as far as saying it's like a 911. It looks very small on the outside, but has abundant room on the inside. And at my height of 6'10", that matters because I thought this M2, just like everybody else, was gonna be very small. And how could a guy almost 7 foot tall fit in a car this small? My legroom is really, really good. And my headroom is obviously abundant, as you can see as I'm talking to you. Now those back seats, them joints just don't work for me at my height. But the legroom did surprise me in the back seat. My headroom was, you know, guillotine though. I ain't gonna lie, it was chopping and rolling down the block. There's no way I could sit in that. My neck was hurting just giving y'all that little B-roll footage of showing y'all how I fit in the back seats. But Nah, the front seats is made for me. I ain't gonna lie. Passenger seat or driver. But I will say those back seats can be utilized, and I thought they would pretty much be for just looks and maybe some bags or different things like that. No, but those back seats could be utilized because if my legs can fit back there, that lets me know that like they're definitely practical to average height people, just not my abnormal height. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So yeah, back seats really surprised me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And back there, you got storage space, you got hanger hooks, you got the same seat belts with the M colors in the back, and you got that same 3D print design on the door panels that stretches into the back seat, which I thought was a cool design, you know? Looks pretty good back there. You got some reading lights and different things like that, but 2 climate vents too. So if they put climate vents in the back seat, I've learned that if a manufacturer puts climate vents back there, they expect to have some backseat passengers. And like I said, the legroom really surprised me back there, but in the front seat, it goes without saying, by far, my legroom is great along with my headroom, and I could daily disjoint every single day. In fact, I have been, and it's been fun, I ain't gonna lie. Now, if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know that my wife and I on our other YouTube channel, Love and Slim, go on tons of road trips. So every time a manufacturer drops off a new car, SUV, or truck to me, I'm always paying attention to the practicality of taking it on a road trip. It's just naturally in my brain because we've done it so much, whether we're driving from country to country to country over in Europe or from state to state to state over here in America. And the fact that you can lay down those back seats to get more practicality out of the trunk, even though the trunk is already abundant for such a small car, you could pass things from the inside of the car to the trunk or the trunk to the inside of the car very easily because you got a wide opening and nothing's blocking it. So I thought that was really dope, man. And I think for such a small car, this car has a lot of practicality. Like the fact that in the front, you got 4 cup holders. You got 1 in the passenger door panel, 1 in the driver door panel, and 2 behind the carbon fiber retractable door with a wireless phone charger, 2 extra chargers, and a leather wrapped armrest with another USB-C charger. So you got more than enough charging capabilities that you can have in this car, on top of having enough space if you're small enough to take a road trip in this car. So I just thought that was dope, and I had to mention that as a light. Next up, let's talk about the ambient lighting in this car, because it's not the most absurd or crazy ambient lighting I've ever seen. But one thing I do got to give BMW credit for is when I first got in this car during the daytime, I looked at the door panels and I'm looking at everything, and I'm looking at everything I want to take note of and talk to y'all about. And the BMW stripes on the door panel look good during the day. I was like, okay, that's a nice little touch. Until nighttime came, and I was like, and then they came to life with the ambient lighting behind it. I was like, okay, BMW. That was actually a good artistic touch that I'm rocking with. The other ambient lighting, if I'm being real, is really weak. Like, you got a little bit under the infotainment screen, right under that carbon fiber on the dash, in your footwell a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And I probably wouldn't even mention it, or maybe I would have said, oh, I wish there was more ambient lighting. Even though I still kind of do, I still got to give BMW credit for giving the ambient lighting behind the BMW M stripes on the actual door panels. I thought that was a good touch. Now, this next thing I'm about to mention is a like and what it's like living with, because every time a manufacturer drops off a car, SUV, or a truck to me, I'm always living with it, right? Whether I'm taking it to the gym, the grocery store, driving it home, or anything in between, I'm always pulling into a driveway or a parking spot, whether I'm backing the car in or pulling it in forward. And y'all let me know, do y'all always back the car in like me, no matter where you're at or what you're doing? Or do you park in forward? Because I feel like real car people, if I'm tripping, maybe I'm one, maybe I'm not. We about to find out in the comment section below after y'all answer this. I feel like always back into a parking space. And that's what I've always done. I've never done it any other way. And definitely when I'm in a performance car or sports car, Lamborghini, Ferraris, or anything crazy like that, or even the M2, I don't care what, I could be in a Nissan Sentra. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm backing it into the parking spot, as crazy as that sounds. But y'all let me know if I'm alone in this world, or am I just a weirdo and no, you alone and you and your old planet, man. Or no, we all do that and that's a normal thing. Let me know in the comments below. But I utilize a front parking camera and a rear parking camera and 360-degree of camera angles if the vehicle has it. And in this particular case, the M5, the M8, and now the M2, and BMW in general, I have to give them credit for having great quality cameras, right? They might not have the most abundant camera angles, but they have great quality cameras. And I have to salute them for that, because there's cars that cost $200,000-$300,000 that don't have a backup camera that look this good. And that's a damn shame to say. But this one looks good at nighttime or during the day. It doesn't look pixelated, it looks good. It doesn't look distorted. It doesn't make objects seem closer than what they are or seem further than what they are. So it's just a great quality camera. And like I said, there's cars that cost way more than this car they got way weaker quality cameras. So I had to mention that in this M2. So I like that a lot. Now y'all know I am obsessed with real memory seats. And I'm also obsessed with mentioning whether an SUV, car, or truck don't have real memory seats, but then they put memory seat buttons for the driver or passenger in a whip. And then you gotta press and hold the button like how you do with the seat adjustments. To me, those just aren't real memory seats. So if you're new to the channel, it's gonna be your first time hearing this, so let me break it down for you. Real memory seats to me are when you can press the memory seat button and take your hand off it, and the seat just goes back to the driver profile setting that you had it at, or the passenger seat setting that you had it at. I shouldn't have to press and hold the memory seat button like I do for a seat adjuster to get the seat in position for me to drive. I wanna press and the seat does the rest. And these do just that in this M2, so I gotta mention that as a like and what it's like living with. The carbon fiber on the dash, I like. A very good touch. I also like the carbon fiber on the center console and the retractable door. It's just super legendary and I'm rocking with it a lot. And y'all already know I mentioned all the carbon fiber on the steering wheel, so let's be real. And the best piece of this car is them carbon fiber bucket seats. Now let's talk about the infotainment screen, the digital gauge cluster, and the heads-up display, because they all have a high resolution and modern design. But I gotta keep it real with y'all. Just like the M5 and the M8, if you're new to BMW products and vehicles, that infotainment screen is going to be a bit overwhelming for you because it offers a whole lot. In fact, it's so dense with what it offers that they even give you a search engine like how you do on your phone to look up apps and different features and different things like that. So that lets you know just how dense it is and what it offers. So this isn't something I dislike. It's just something I'm neutral about, and I just got to throw out in the air for people, because I think if you're not hip to what BMW got going on, or the newer cars or infotainment screens and tech and different things like that, that can be a bit overwhelming for you. And not to say this is the most tech-driven car, but listen up, it's dense. So just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. But once you get the lay of the land, which is going to take a while, it take a while for me, and I review cars. So I always think of you're just your regular everyday person, how will they feel with this infotainment screen? And I gotta imagine if I felt overwhelmed when I first got into the 2025 BMW lineup, and I'm like, man, how do you find this, this, and I'm just searching for this, and it's just a lot at times. But once you learn the lay of the land, it's super responsive, intuitive, and easy to use. And I guess if you had to have it one way, you rather offer more than you will ever use than less, because a car is gonna be most people's biggest investment outside their house. So you rather it come with more than less, or less than more. It all depends. If you're a simplistic person and you don't want to have that much, me personally, if I'm paying $67,000 or more, which this is a bargain for this car, I'm not gonna lie on the performance and everything like that, but not to get sidetracked, like I would want to have more and I just got to figure it out later versus coming with less and then wishing it had more later. I'm just more that kind of person. So I'd rather have that. So there's no complaints on that part. It's just, it's a bit overwhelming if you don't know what you're doing, like I said, till you get the lay of the land. But once you do, responsive, intuitive, and super easy to use. Same thing with the digital gauge cluster and the heads-up display. And the digital gauge cluster and the heads-up display, I'm sorry, getting my words all tangled up, can be reconfigured to match each other simultaneously. Anytime you hit this M mode on your center console right here to go from road, sport, and track, which I thought was super dope. Y'all want to see everything I'm talking about with this car and features and everything that it offers on that side, from the infotainment screen to the digital gauge cluster, make sure y'all check out my 5-minute review where I talk about just the features of these cars. And living with, I'm talking about more long-term and what it's like living with it. Obviously, go hint the title of the video, you know what I mean? But if y'all want to see that, make sure you go check out my 5-minute review. But I had to mention all three of those as a like, because I really like the heads-up display too, because it just makes it easy to where you don't have to take your eyes off the road to see your live RPM band or your miles per hour or the suggested speed limit. It just makes everything in life so much easier and what it's like living with. So I had to mention that as a like too. There's only probably about 2 or 3 things that I really dislike, because it's way more abundant love than there is hate or dislikes. And my first dislike is gonna have to be the fact that these sun visors, they detach and they extend, but poquito, is it? I don't know if I'll say my Spanish right, poquito, is very small. It does not extend the whole length of the window. To me, it just doesn't make sense, because if it extended at least halfway and it covered half it don't even cover, like come on, man, BMW, like what was that about? The next thing is gonna have to be these seats. As much as I love the way they look, I love the leather, the Alcantara, I love them even more when they got that Barrett's Automotive Pristine leather conditioner on them. Click the link below and get yours right now. But I don't love the fact that these joints are only heated and not ventilated cooled seats, because when are you gonna be driving the M2 the most? During the summer, right? Not during the winter with rear wheel drive and all that, with no snow. Come on, man, let's be real, BMW. So I would have rather these seats just had cooled seats instead of heated seats, because you're gonna be driving it primarily, mostly in the summer. Now that I think about it, you don't really ever see just cooled seats in the car. At minimum, they'll come with heated or nothing, right? It goes from nothing to heated, and then they got top of the mook joints, heated and cooled. But you would never ever see or get in the car and be like, oh, they ain't got heated option, it just got the cooled option. So I know that's a cost thing for sure, because if I had to choose with this car, I would rather it be cooled seats than heated seats, but they're only heated. Just like the steering wheel. The steering wheel looks good and it's heated, but the seats, like, come on. I wonder when they're gonna come out with a cool steering wheel. I'm getting sidetracked here, but when do you think they're gonna come out with a cool steering wheel? Am I doing too much? Why don't they do that? Get active in the chat and let me know why. Now, my last dislike is gonna be something that I don't know if it's personal or if this is a BMW thing, or if it's, y'all let me know. Is the M2 not have gesture controls? And by gesture controls, I mean that feature where you can turn your finger clockwise or counterclockwise to turn the volume up or down the car. You can throw your thumb to the left or thumb to the right. And I did this in a BMW M8 competition to skip songs or rewind the song. And I really like that feature a lot. So it's like, it has the same tech. I see the little camera thing, like sensor joint in the infotainment screen, and it's called gesture controls. And I type that in to the infotainment screen and nothing pops up. So I don't understand. I really wouldn't like that. And that's why I mentioned it as a dislike. If the M2 has all the same stuff as the M5 and M8 as far as the infotainment screen for the most part, and it don't got gesture control. So is it because it's a lesser trim and it's an M2 why I don't have that? Or could I just not find it, or am I just tripping? Or am I completely wrong? Or is it labeled as something else in the M2? All the BMW fanatics out there, y'all let me know in the comments below. Does the M2 have gesture controls? Yes or no? And am I just having a hard time finding it? And like I said, is it labeled as something different? Because I just don't like that. And why is it that complicated? So I don't know if that's a personal problem or a BMW problem, but either way it goes, I didn't like that it was personal, or I just don't like it. Now let's talk about some of the neutral things before I end this video. And if you're new to the channel, when I say neutral, it's just food for thought, something to just think about, right? It's not a like, it's not a dislike, it's not a love, it's not a hate. The first one's gonna have to be the range per full tank you get in this car. I think it gets 16 miles per gallon in the city, 24 on the highway, and in total, I think you get about 285, 290 miles of range per full tank. So just know, as good as that sounds for this small car, you're gonna be at the gas station a lot. In this week that I've had this car, I've been at the gas station at least 2 or 3 times. And it's just, it flies out of here. Definitely if you're having fun and driving this car the way it's meant to be driven, like I've been doing, yeah, you're gonna fly out of gas really fast. And I don't think you would expect that for such a small car. So it's just something I just had to mention and throw out there, because the gas does fly out of this joint at a rapid rate. Now, my next neutral thing is gonna have to be these seats. I know I mentioned that they're not cooled. I love the carbon fiber and they actually look cool, but you do gotta know if your back is already a little bit stiff and tight, these seats with the carbon fiber bucket mooks is gonna compound it, because man, oh man, they are a little stiff on the stiff side. But they look cool and they are comfortable as long as your back is fine. But if your back is stiff, these seats are stiff. So you do the math. But that's pretty much everything your boy got to talk about when it comes to this new 2025 BMW M2. And if you rocking with this joint just as much as I am, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And also make sure y'all go to Barrett's Automotive and get your car wash products by yours truly, man. We would greatly appreciate it, because our products are just as top tier as this whip is, man. And that says a whole lot. So make sure you get your whip clean and keep it clean by getting your Barrett's Automotive car wash products. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video. You did.